This episode of Marijuana Today Daily is brought to you by our exclusive multi-state cannabis operator sponsor, Curaleaf, one of the nation's top vertically integrated medical and wellness cannabis operators with 53 local dispensaries, 15 cultivation sites, and 24 processing facilities operating in 17 states. You can learn more about Curaleaf over at curaleaf.com with Curaleaf spelled Curaleaf. That's curaleaf.com. Good morning, Marijuana Nation. It's Friday, April 24th, 2020, and you're tuned in to episode 921 of Marijuana Today Daily. I'm your host, Shay Gunther, and I'll be walking you through today's marijuana news and headlines. As always, we have a full and busy day of cannabis news in our hands, so let's jump right into it. We start the news off in California as the state is starting to roll out a raft of temporary policy changes aimed at easing the pandemic-related financial burdens of legal marijuana business operators, as federal prohibition and a complete failure of leadership at the top of the nation has closed off our industry from getting federal support. The myriad of changes includes extensions on tax filings and payment schedules, the forgiveness of certain fees and interest, and tax deferments for businesses with less than $5 million in annual revenue. This is something I hope we start to see more of at the state level since federal authorities have completely left the field. Open this one up even if you don't do business in California. As always, we have all the news we cover linked to on our website at mjtodaydaily.com. Eric Volkman over the Motley Fool picked up on some depressing news regarding this year's 420 holiday. According to numbers from the sales platform Kova, which I should mention has been a sponsor of ours in the past, sales at legal cannabis dispensaries on April 20th were down around half their level from last year. While marijuana has been deemed essential in just about every legal U.S. state and Canadian province, stay-at-home orders are thankfully working, which is keeping cannabis consumer crowds down, which resulted on Monday, marijuana's high holiday, of fewer shoppers making slightly larger purchases compared to last year. This is another one that I would dive into fully today as it helps build a better understanding of our new life under the pandemic. Our final top story of the day and the week is the introduction of a new proposed bill in the U.S. Congress to include legal marijuana companies in federal coronavirus pandemic aid programs. We've covered this lots here on Marijuana Today Daily, as even ancillary companies like our own little publishing firm are blocked from getting help from good old Uncle Sam, despite cannabis being deemed necessary all over the map. The legislation is called the Emergency Cannabis Small Business Health and Safety Act and was introduced by Democratic Representatives Earl Blumenauer of Oregon and Ed Perlmutter of Colorado. If passed into law, the bill would allow cannabis businesses to tap into three programs offered by the Small Business Administration: the Paycheck Protection Program, the Economic Injury Disaster Loans Program, and the Economic Injury Disaster Loans Emergency Grants Program. Leafly has more details here if you want them. Those are our top stories for today. It's time for Marijuana Today Daily Headlines Blitz. Before we blitz it in headlines, let's quickly thank our sponsor, Curaleaf, one of the nation's top multi-state cannabis operators with 53 local dispensaries, 15 cultivation sites, and 24 processing facilities operating in 17 states. Thankfully, Curaleaf has been deemed a necessary service in all of the states it has operations in as we settle into the new normal of the coronavirus pandemic. And everyone at the company has been working hard to change up their operations to make it as safe as possible for their customers, patients, and employees. You can open up curaleaf.com for a state-by-state listing of how each store is handling sales, as different rules and regulations apply depending on locality. But in the shops where it's possible, Curaleaf now offers a special waiting system that lets you sit in your car until it's time to order. And they have new special early hours exclusive for older patients. One more time, you can read about all of Curaleaf's response to the coronavirus over at curaleaf.com, spelled Curaleaf. Big thanks to everyone at Curaleaf for helping us keep our news lights on. All right, time for the Blitz. A new survey from website Wallets Hub finds that a lot of Americans are planning on spending some of their federal pandemic economic relief money on marijuana or alcohol. The survey's numbers extrapolate up to an estimated 24 million Americans with their sights on stocking up on booze or weed with their pandemic aid. More depressingly, 160 million Americans are thought to be just a few months away from running out of money entirely. Fuck. The publishing and events company Marijuana Business Daily, which puts on our industry's largest annual conference in Vegas, among other events, is pivoting into offering online virtual conferences, as stay-at-home orders and the coronavirus pandemic means no more old-school business gatherings. They're offering their first virtual conference coming up at the end of June, details of which you can read over at Marijuana Business Daily. Kyle Yeager over Marijuana Moment details a new story out of Washington, D.C. involving a lawsuit filed against the U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration over marijuana's federal status as a Schedule I drug that was dismissed last week by a federal judge who said that plaintiffs in the matter, mostly medical cannabis activists, were jumping the process of seeking a scheduling change because they had not first filed a certain kind of administrative appeal. Instead of doing that, the activists, including former NFL player Marvin Washington, will seek to have their case heard before the U.S. Supreme Court. Kyle spoke with Michael Hiller, the lawyer representing the group of activists, about this case, which you should read about in full over at Marijuana Moment. Speaking of football, we have former NFL player Rob Gronkowski saying he is coming out of retirement to play with his old buddy Tom Brady down in Florida, and that the NFL's new policy on marijuana was one of the factors in his decision. Specifically, it's the NFL's loosening up on cannabis policy that drove Gronkowski, also known as Gronk, back to the game. Gronkowski made some cannabis headlines following his initial retirement back in 2017 after he got involved with a CBD startup. With another headline, Kyle's back with a story about a poll out of New Jersey finding that 61% of respondents would vote for a proposed adult use legalization ballot measure up for a vote in November, versus just 34% who are opposed. Kyle's got lots of good detail, context, and crosstabs over at Marijuana Moment. Jumping to Brazil, we have government authorities in that nation giving the green light to the first legal cannabis product allowed under a set of rules created just last year. The no THC high CBD product will be sold by a local pharmaceutical company through pharmacies. If you keep your eye on the international scene, this is one I'd add to your list to read today. We end the week off in a bit of a lighter note with Marijuana Business Daily taking some time to share photos of different marijuana business industry folks working at home with their kids, with yesterday being Take Our Daughters and Sons to Work Day. That's a different kind of picture when everyone is working from home, or a bunch of different pictures in this case. It was fun to see my friend Taylor West, who is a regular on our weekly show Marijuana Today, represented among those who are working at home with their kiddos. This is obviously a story best experienced in full yourself. Click on over. Those are the headlines and news for the day and for the week. I'll be back with you again Monday morning with another information-packed episode of Marijuana Today Daily. But in the meantime, if you have any stories to share or feedback to give, zip us an email to headlines@mjtodaydaily.com. And while you're clicking around the interwebs, swing over to our website at mjtodaydaily.com to find links to all the news we cover. Thanks to our sponsor, Cureleaf, and to our awesome patron listeners for the support that makes this show possible. To join the illustrious ranks of the patron listeners yourself, swing over to our website at mjtodaydaily.com and click on that big blue button at the top of the page that says Become a Patron. I'm your host, Shay Gunther. Thanks for tuning in and starting your day with Marijuana Today.
One take, Shay. One take.